Clean and maintain your yard the best way with Honda trimmers and lawn mowers. Honda Lawn and Garden Equipment. Available at Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
Questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only 100.
Have a vision? We've got what you need. From idea to install, Brothers Habet, all your building needs under one roof.
We recently formed MOUs with the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute, which is the education arm of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, and also with the American Culinary Federation to do culinary training. We're here to celebrate our accomplishments. And this is not about replacing Belizean cuisine. This is about, we want the Belizean cuisine, we want the Belizean richness and diversity, right? So this is about your skills. You all know what you all learned, so it's about transferring that skill.
We want to inspire this career because, you know, it's amazing. You love what you do, right? And it really is.
Chester Williams informed that the NBC was formed last week. The next step is to draft the Public-Private Partnership (PPP) agreement between the NBC and the government. Williams says a legal framework will ensure the success of the national bus company compared to Novelo's Bus Line Limited, which was left open to competition in the early 2000s after it acquired different operators.
So in 2002, they had the issue where Novelos brothers bought over many of the local bus operators, and they had control of most of the bus runs. There were a few companies who did not join that consolidation then, and they were operating alongside Novelos but in different areas. there was nothing to protect the Novelos brothers from competition. So some of the same operators who had sold their operations to Novelos ended up applying for road service permits and were granted. And they began to compete with Novelos. That drove Novelos into receivership in 2004. So the competition was extremely stiff. There's no way Novelos could have survived that tsunami of operators that came against them. So to make sure that there is not a repeat, we have engaged Courtney and Coy law firm to develop the legal framework for us. One, they are working on the article and memorandum of association that is going to be used to incorporate
the creation of the National Bus Company. There will now be 15 operators. The creation of the National Bus Company. There will now be 15 operators, a drastic reduction from the previous 31. After the transition period, Zabanis says they will then move to acquire more electric buses in batches. The aim is to have an entirely new fleet by the end of 2027. Funding is being sought from Taiwan, the EU, and the IDB. Zabanis affirmed there won't be any fare increase in the foreseeable future under the NBC.
We can buy in bulk now. Fuel costs will go down further. And this is for the present fleet of diesel buses we're talking about. When we reach the point for which we have a transition period from March 1st to the end of August, then we start to get the electric buses replacing the diesel buses. You will see a much more significant drop in the operating costs of the company. And all our analysis here shows that it will not be necessary for us to have any kinds of price increases going forward, at least for the foreseeable future. Because again, the operating costs have gone down significantly.
Zabanis says they are working with Digi Belize to have a cashless system of cards for the existing 3 e-buses in the next few weeks or months. They also intend to incorporate GPS and cameras on the buses. Transportation Minister Honorable Louis Zabanis remarked,
quality control is very, very important, and those conditions are not put there for style, they're put there for a reason, simply because
Federal Trade Commission. However, it's now that's nowhere close to what they spent. The elaborate scheme drew the attention of U.S. authorities, and charges were brought against the principal, Andres Puki, and his associates in November 2018. Assets were subsequently confiscated. The matter went to trial in 2020 and ended in an appeal that Puki and the other defendants, including Peter Baker and John Usher, lost. Puki was convicted on July 10, 2024, and on September 22, 2025, he was sentenced to 8 years in prison for massive real estate fraud. According to the U.S. court findings, the scheme pulled in more than $100 million, but the hundreds of American retirees who bought into the promise of luxury seaside homes saw their life savings evaporate with nothing to show for it. Although Puki had a long history of fraud in the U.S., he used aliases in Belize to hide his past. In 2023, the FTC refunded $10 million.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize of our sales representatives today.
Is that all? This is everything.
Our Belize City is growing because of continued investment. From rehabilitated streets to expanding neighborhoods, significant investments are improving how our city functions and how our communities live. In the last 2 years alone, more than 250 streets have been rehabilitated, representing almost $34 million invested directly in physical infrastructure that improves access and quality of life. At the same time, the city continues to expand. Developments such as the home. For a vacant property valued at $25,000, we charged an annual 2% rate, which works out to a payment of $500. Under the new assessment, the property value has appreciated by 40%, making the property now worth $35,000. Therefore, the new amount to be paid will be 2% of $35,000, which works out to $700. For an occupied property valued at $25,000, we charged an annual 10% rate, which works out to $2,500. Under the new assessment, the property's value has appreciated by 18%, making the property now worth $29,500. Therefore, the new amount to be paid will be 10% of $29,500, which works out to $2,950. To support property owners, your Belize City Council is encouraging residents to take advantage of the ongoing property tax prepayment incentives. Property owners receive 15% off in January, 10% off in February, and 5% in March. And senior citizens receive a 35% discount year-round. Remember, this adjustment represents an appreciation in your property's worth, not a change in tax rates, ensuring continued investment in your city while providing valuable data for informing investors, municipal bondholders, and individual credit assessments. And we want residents to know the law provides a clear mechanism for review and appeal if needed. Those who believe their valuation does not fairly reflect their property have the right to engage the Belize City Valuation Appeals Board. Your Belize City Council remains committed to openness, accountability, and ensuring that growth is managed fairly for everyone. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Whether you are a
story of last year, 3 young women from Massachusetts, USA were visiting Belize as tourists and staying at Royal Cajal Beach Resort in San Pedro and Burgess Key. All 3 women were found dead inside their suite, and while initial reports had suggested an overdose as the reason for their deaths, further testing in the U.S. pointed to carbon monoxide poisoning. The families of the young women have now filed a $100 million U.S. lawsuit, wrongful death lawsuit. Along with Royal Kahal, defendants' name include Julius Espat Structure Architects Limited, as well as the architect, his wife Anna Espat. On Wednesday, Minister of Tourism Honorable Anthony Muller called the entire incident a black eye for this country.
Black eye happened already. The 3 young ladies have passed. Now it's just a court case. Whatever the courts decide, I will support. These things should never happen, and we should take much more pride and accountability. We should have much more accountability in terms of when we're building buildings to accommodate people, especially in the tourist sector.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Honorable Gilroy Usher, has said, "Let the people have their say on Belize Telemedia Limited's intended acquisition of SpeedNet Communications Limited." He shared his opinion of how BTL's consultation should look, but he held the cabinet line when asked if BTL had convinced.
Answers the questions that the people ask. Whatever answers the questions that the people ask. Whatever questions they ask, try their best to answer the questions, and then the people will decide. But don't say you have a consultation, but only spoon feed information that you think will persuade people to think a particular way. Give them all the facts and let the people decide.
Did BTL convince you when it made its presentation to cabinet?
Well, as a cabinet, we agreed that the cabinet will delay its decision until all the consultations have been completed. All right, there is much room for more robust consultation, and so I will leave it at that. I will support whatever the people decide on this issue.
Today, the Ministry of Health's Mental Health Coordinator, Yvette Quintanilla, lamented that there is still stigma surrounding mental health in Belize, and it deters individuals from seeking treatment. She said a person's mental health is as important as their physical health.
Our focus is that the mind and the body are not separate. It's always, anyone has mental health, and it can also result in mental illness if we do not take care of our mental health. So we are trying to change how we speak in terms of mental health. We are trying to change the stigma, the discrimination associated whenever we speak about mental health, because we know it is very common in our country, and most of the time, like I said, the focus is on our physical health, but we tend to forget taking care of our mind as well. So that is what we are trying to change as we move along.
Quintanilla said that the mindset surrounding mental health treatments are slowly changing.
The changes are coming along slowly as we move along, but we have been working very closely with different ministries. For example, last year we did multiple sessions with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Human Development. We have been working very closely with the police last year as well. And well, to start off this year, we have a large encourage the community to not wait. Once you start to see the changes, it's important for them to be taken to the clinics so that a proper assessment can be done and the intervention can be provided from very early rather than waiting, when incidents happen out there with the public where they become psychotic and then they pose a harm to themselves or to other people.
And what happens if it gets to a situation where it's kind of like an emergency?
Okay, they can be taken to the emergency rooms. All the hospitals are equipped to respond to any crisis. We have done training with medical officers when it comes to mental health gap training, and that training is specifically to prepare medical officers to provide that initial intervention, the diagnosis and the treatment, and then make the referral to the mental health team, who then will further assess and continue with the treatment.
In Belize, we often hear complaints about the cost of seeking health care, which many times prevents sick persons from seeking proper treatment until it may be too late. However, mental health services are completely free if accessed through one of the
service. They have the employee assistance program for all public officers, whereby they as well assigned a psychotherapist, psychologist, psychiatrist. If there's a need, the public can receive those services. And then as well, there is the counseling center in Belize, and although they're based there, they do have counselors who go to the districts, whereby people can also access the services through them.
After the break, Minister Mueller fed up with national pride deficit. Stay tuned.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart 3O. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart 3O. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a 3O getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase. There will also be a bike rally throughout the streets of Blue Creek and Belize City on February 7th and 14th respectively. All participants will get a free oil change. Check out our Facebook page for more details. Love Your Honda is all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February. Only at Banquet Equipment Parts Service.
recently formed MOUs with the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute, which is the education arm of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, and also with the American
have received this training and see a pathway for greater things.
Just to put it into perspective, there's only about 6,000 certified executive chefs in North America. There is only 69 certified master chefs in the world. There is less than 10 certified executive pastry chefs in this entire world. And now in Belize, we have 3 sitting in this room.
Minister of Tourism, Honorable Anthony Muller, in his latest media interview, expressed frustration over what he sees as a lack of national pride. He noted that while Belizeans celebrate the display of our country's flag on major international entertainment stages, that same pride is often missing in our everyday behaviors.
I'm gonna notice that I have my pet peeve is the amount of garbage we have. So I say, a young lady run, which I am proud of, always proud of, with a flag, and all that we got, so sense of national together. And then you see a difference in our society.
First responders from the Belize Police Department, Belize Defense Force, Belize Coast Guard, and also traffic wardens are attending a 2-day workshop in Belize City focused on psychological first aid. Yvette Quintanilla, the mental health coordinator in the mental health unit of the Ministry of Health, said that oftentimes with emergency situations, physical health is the main concern. She said many times a person's mental and emotional health is not always considered, and that this goes for both the patients and the first responders.
So the participation today is for first responders. We have the Belize Coast Guard, Defense Force, the Belize Police Department. We have traffic wardens as well. And we are doing training on psychological first aid. We have seen the rise in traffic incidents, in fires, in different things, crises that are happening across the country. So we are providing this training so that they are better prepared in terms of the response that they're supposed to be providing. Oftentimes the focus is on the physical injuries and with the individual, and it can result in depression, in post-traumatic stress disorder, which are some of the mental health conditions. And it's not only for how it may affect them, but the training is also focusing on how they are supposed to provide the support to the public in their line of duty as first responders.
Quintanilla spoke more on what psychological first aid entails.
So the psychological first aid is a humane response to the different traumas, disasters that are faced. And 3 things that we normally teach people are to look, to listen, and to link. These are the basis of the psychological first aid. And like I said, it is in their line of duty. Then this is what we are focusing on for them to be able to provide the support to the public.
We now hear from 2 participants of the training, Sergeant Leon Ferguson of the police and Chief Ken Neal of the Coast Guard.
So one of the things I am hoping to achieve is to understand post-traumatic stress disorder, because one of the things we have noticed in the Belize Police Department is that a lot of police officers has been going through a lot of stuff. We have seen police officers dropping with sickness, health issues, financial issues, and a lot of stuff. So I'm hoping to get information to help these officers, because recently we had sent out a survey across the Belize Police Department that should help us to understand or to create a safe place for a police officer to provide peer support for our officers. So I'm hoping to get as much information I can from this training so I can take it back to our department for us to create this safe place for police officers to come in and speak about any PTSD, any stuff they are going through. We just want to create a safe place for them.
So we basically participating by bringing a crew of people over here. It's about 7 of us.
Municipalities across the country. Karim Juan, the head coach of the Cayo Western Ballers, explained that the Ministry of Sports is investing in upgrading facilities for basketball and other sporting disciplines. He said not all the upgrades will be completed in time for this season. He shared what all are included in the upgrades.
So they have started with basketball. However, the plan is to extend this model to all different disciplines countrywide. So what they're doing right now for basketball, they want this to breed over to softball, to football, and to different disciplines. As part of that initiative, they are also ensuring that the facilities are up to standards. So I think it was maybe the end of last month, I know the Minister of Sports and so both Minister Mala and Minister Daly signed an MOU with both the football and basketball federation. So they are bringing in, if I'm not mistaken, it's either 5 or 6 basketball courts and 5 or 6 synthetic football pitches that will be placed in different towns across the country. So the NEBL and this project goes hand in hand with that. All the locker rooms are being refurbished. All the electronic scoreboards and shot clocks are being upgraded. The restrooms at all the facilities are being renovated as well. So that's a plus as is in that all these venues which are managed by the National Sports Council are being upgraded as we speak.
And on Wednesday, Tourism Minister Honorable Anthony Muller revealed that a plan to make the Belize City Carnival bigger and better has started to take root. He said that an expert from Trinidad and Tobago has given his recommendations, and there are plans to seek training for carnival designers to learn fresh techniques in costume creation and design. The goal is to eventually market the city's carnival as a tourist attraction.
I support the initiative, the initiatives during Carnival season, and so our goal is to make it much bigger and better. I think we brought an expert from Trinidad to look at it, and they say we're a long ways from making it export ready and internationalize it. And so one of the changes was the route. We did that already, and so I understand that in a few months there should be change in leadership or something like that. There are elections, and we'll see where that goes, but we are willing to work with any group. I did it many years ago when I was at the BTB. I supported the carnival bands, and I think it's a good thing for Belize. Now, how we modernize it and how we become creative in terms of the costumes, we can get training for that and all of that, right? Those are some of the things that we're looking at.
And with that, we've come to the end of our newscast. The repeat can be viewed on the station later tonight at 9 and again tomorrow at midday. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of the news. And remember, you can always catch up with the day's top stories on our YouTube channel and Facebook page under XTV Belize. And you can watch the evening news live on our XTV BHNI app. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe